Now, Russia and Ukraine are firing swarms of drones at each other, and the barrage has been more intense than ever before. No deal has emerged from Washington's talks with both Kyiv and Moscow in Saudi Arabia on any ceasefire. But Russia has set conditions for a ceasefire with Ukraine.
We will need clear guarantees. And there may be guarantees, taking into account the sad experience of agreements with Kyiv. Guarantees may be only the result of a direct order from Washington to Zelensky and his team to do this, and not any other way. And it seems to me that our American partners have accepted this signal. They understand that only Washington can achieve positive results in stopping terrorist attacks. Shelling of civilian infrastructure and energy infrastructure not related to the military-industrial complex.
Now, Russia says that it is in fact willing to strike a new agreement on the safety of shipping in the Black Sea, which is a possible stepping stone towards a ceasefire with Ukraine, but only if the United States ordered President Volodymyr Zelensky to respect it. Now, Moscow says that only such an order would provide the assurances that Russia needs. Now, Ukrainian regions have again come under overnight Russian attacks. These are some of the images of the firefighters battling to put out a fire at a warehouse in the Kievan region. In the eastern Kharkiv and also in the Sumy regions, the Russian strikes destroyed several buildings and vehicles. Ukrainian authorities claim that Russia carried out at least 76 aviation strikes and used 794 drones against the Ukrainian positions and settlements. Moscow, on the other hand, has accused Ukraine of continuing to target Russia's civilian energy infrastructure. The Russian Defense Ministry has said that the Ukrainian drones attacked a power grid in the Krasnodar region, as well as a gas distribution station in occupied Luhansk. It's further said that a Ukrainian drone targeted an underground gas storage facility in occupied Crimea, which was intercepted. At least about 6 people suffered injuries after separate explosions ripped through an apartment building and a mobile phone store in Russia's Dagestan. The Russian authorities say that the explosions that took place 5 kilometers apart within an hour were due to gas leaks. The powerful explosion in the residential building shattered windows in the apartment building, sending debris crashing into a parking lot below. In the Czech Republic, a powerful explosion was reported at an ammunition depot in Borzyn town. Reports now suggest that the facility contained reserves of large caliber ammunition, a significant portion of which was intended for delivery to the Ukrainian battlefield. In addition to the warehouse, this location also housed ammunition production as well as repair and modernization work on military equipment. While the authorities haven't ascertained the cause of the fire, they say that the explosion appears to be a technical fault in the production technology. All right, now to give us more perspective in terms of what is happening in the negotiations in the Russia-Ukraine war, we are joined on this broadcast by Mr. John Erat, who is a Senior Policy Director for the Center for Arms Control and Non-Proliferation, is joining us live here. Mr. Erat, thank you very much indeed for speaking to us. Now, let me in fact start off by asking this. The fact that there were negotiations that were held in Riyadh that dragged on for well over 9 hours, and there was no official statement that was put out in the aftermath of those talks. What do you think is happening here? Although President Donald Trump has indicated that the talks are going in the right direction and he's getting some good vibes about it, how closer, in your assessment, do you think we are to any kind of a deal? Or there seems to be an issue with the line there. We'll try a reconnect with Mr. Erat again, but this, of course, is what is happening with respect to the negotiations. Remember, the negotiations went on for well over 9 hours between the Russian representatives and, of course, the American representatives. And I'm told that we have Mr. Erat back on the line with us. Mr. Erat, if you can hear me, the question that I was asking you was this. You know, the fact that the negotiations in Riyadh dragged on for well over 9 long hours, and there has not been an official statement that's been put out by either side about what was the outcome of these talks. In your assessment, even though the leaders have indicated that the talks are moving in the right direction, how close do you think we are to an agreement?
First, I'm sorry I was not able to hear earlier, but I would say that this shows that the process of making peace out of war is very difficult. The issues that separate the two sides are still very serious and important, and it's not something that can be resolved easily or quickly. So we're seeing that play out as these talks go on, and hopefully there's some progress being made, but the differences are still much more important than the points of commonality. And this is a case for very intense, painstaking diplomacy.
Right. Now, the fact that Russia seems to be more keen in having some kind of a ceasefire in the Black Sea region, but has been unrelenting of the position that it has on the land. Do you think that's a bridge that that's a gap that can be bridged, considering the position that either side has taken?
I'm a professional diplomat, so I think all gaps can be bridged. But this is one that is very serious and very difficult to do for the reason that in the Black Sea, Russia has had the worst of the fighting by a large measure. A large portion of its Black Sea fleet has been sunk or forced to leave the area that is under contest. And so it makes sense that Russia would want Ukraine to stop attacking its ships in the Black Sea. This, however, is not a ceasefire that would have much benefit for the people of Ukraine and Russia, who are being affected by these attacks and drone raids every day. So it's merely an attempt to find some small success, any success, and then declare that it's a big deal when it really isn't.
Interesting. Thank you very much, Mr. Iran, for joining us with that perspective there.
You're welcome.
For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.